story. Right before I had my first baby, I went out and bought a Mazda 3, and I know a bunch of other couples who've done exactly the same thing. What is it about a Mazda 3 that makes people think it's a family car? And how does it work for singles, families, and couples? This week I drove the very swish looking brand new Mazda 3 in the Evolve G20 model. It's second from the bottom of the range and it costs around 27 grand. It's in competition with cars like the Hyundai i30 and the Toyota Corolla. Here's how it did with my family over 7 days of driving. Firstly, wow, look at it. It's snazzy, it's new and it's fun. Also, it looks expensive. Mazda's designers really know how to design a car that looks premium but doesn't cost the earth. There is more of a rounded bubble shape to it at the back, while the nose is elongated at the front. And you know what? I wouldn't even recognize this as a Mazda if I didn't see the badge. It looks sophisticated. In this Evolve model, you get fabric seats that are smooth, not scratchy, very important for comfort, a leather steering wheel, which feels nice under the hands, and a leather gear stick. You also get really nice, smooth and soft dash and doors, plus a pared back center console design. It's finished in a high gloss and everything is kept quite simple and basic, kind of like how Audi does it, but not as amazing as Audi. There are no design features that make you go, wow, but still it looks really slick and I feel good driving it. There are 2 cup holders in the front, plus you get a spot to throw keys or a phone or your wallet. The center storage bin looks good and it's also quite large for a car this size. Plus you get a bottle holder in each door. I'm pretty happy with the storage in here. Space-wise in the front is good. I mean, it's not as good or as large as you would get in an SUV, but it's adequate. So I fit in here, my taller husband fit in here, and even a baby in the back will, fit quite snugly. But the good thing about it is you can actually have the comfort in knowing you can reach back and touch the baby if you need to. When the baby capsule is fitted in, you will have to move the front seat right forward, so the person sitting in the front seat might be a little squashed. The back seat is decent enough space-wise. I'm 161 centimeters and I fit back here perfectly fine behind my driving position. If there was a taller person driving, the seat would come up to about here, so it's not going to be as comfortable for taller teenagers or adults, but still enough space for little ones. My kids are 5 and 7 and they were perfectly fine back here. And speaking from past experience, doing the baby capsule up in such a low car can get really annoying and was essentially the reason we upsized to an SUV. But for me, at 161 centimeters, it was actually perfectly fine. So it's a personal decision. And I know families who've kept using the Mazda 3 through baby stage and beyond and are perfectly happy with it. Rear passengers will get 2 cup holders in the center armrest, plus their own air vents, which was much appreciated by my kids this week. The boot has actually shrunk with this redesign, but it still fits the CarsGuide pram, which is particularly bulky, and it won't fit in Mazda's small SUV, the CX-3. So it's pretty great that it fits in here. Plus you'll be able to get in some groceries and school bags on top if you need. So it's not a bad size. And it drives really smoothly. I can barely feel the bumps on the road in the Mazda 3, and it has that signature Mazda zippy feeling, so it takes off really quickly from a starting position. There are 2 engine size choices. I'm in the smaller one, the G20. It's a 2-litre engine and really it gets up hills perfectly fine and also coasts along highways nice and easily. I haven't driven the larger size engine, so I can't compare the two, but I did find that this car was enough for me with my 2 little ones in tow. It has a clear, high-definition reverse parking camera, so you can easily squeeze into parks, and the turning circle is also quite small because it's a small car, so I found that really easy to do U-turns this week. Fuel consumption is at 6.2 litres per 100 Ks, which is pretty average for this category. And I think the Mazda 3 is a really fun, happy, zippy car to drive around. Safety is pretty great. You get all of the advanced safety you could hope for, including auto emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and my favourite bit of safety, rear cross traffic alerts. You'll also get 2 ISOFIX points and 3 top tether points for kids' car seats. And Mazda now has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is so great. It's been a long time coming. You can plug your phone in and be instantly connected to the multimedia screen. You use Maps to navigate, Spotify to listen to music, and you can use voice control to make calls and send texts. While it's not traditionally a family car, I personally know of 3 families who use the Mazda 3 perfectly fine and have done for a few years. This new generation Mazda 3 Evolve looks fantastic from the outside, has adequate interior space. It's not huge, but it does the job, and it's lovely to drive. I gave it a family rating of 7.5 out of 10, and my kids also gave it a 7.5. They didn't complain about being in here this week.